Alright, what is up? Back with a little weekly review and a little bit of a future projection. And yeah, so let's just get straight into it again. These are just I just came up here and I was like, we're gonna do the review right now. So I got nothing really planned for this. I got two tabs up and we're gonna do some S&P review for the week. Um, Maybe some monthly review because the that's the 4 hour because obviously May has wrapped up and we are into June. Crazy, crazy stuff. It's already this week's already printed red. But yeah, we'll go into the futures in a little bit. But I just want to do a quick little recap for the week and the month. Cause all right, so first we will delete this line. Oh, we were not, because actually I know why it's doing this. um, all right, so last week this green candle is just a continuation of kind of this month's general trend where we posted. I think we went up like, yeah, 6% this month, but that's a very strong month. Sell in May, like I discussed, and I think my last video I talked about on Friday, the Friday review. It's kind of that's kind of done. But yeah, we really did have a great month. A lot of growth. If you just took the if you opened SPY here and closed it here, you were good. Obviously, great month. So let's just jump straight back down to the weekly. Let's do a little weekly review. And also another two solid green candles of back-to-back weeks. Again, volume is a little bit on the lower side, but then again, we're also kind of volumes and steadily decreasing this entire time. Yeah, let's go to the daily. Let's see what happened this week. And I already did a lot of stuff covering the daily candles, but we really traded above the range here. So I actually think it'd be easier if we broke it down to the 8 hour to see the range. So obviously we're in this pink range, and we kind of just traded up here, and then obviously we fell below here back into this supply zone. Now, granted, the supply zone has been heavily exhausted. That is part of the reason why we may have reversed. Right here, May 30th. This is the candle that opened today. I'm pretty sure. Um, we also came into this VWAP, and let's just go straight into the future projections on this as well. We've already discussed a lot of the stuff for the week on SPY and the S&P. Basically, as we're in the upper end of this range, I all right, granted, right now what's going on with the protesters, it could become a bigger deal than what a lot of people were expecting at the end of last week. Now we're into this week, and we've seen a ton of violent eruptions across the country. The country is shaken up right now, big time. And the markets, if the markets can shake off this, it's just another thing that's going to lead me to be more bullish, because the bull markets and bullish markets can shake off tough news, and we are getting some pretty tough news right now. So as we trade above this trend line and these highs, this is now ridiculous. This is very strong support, and until we can kind of break below this 2970 level, 2978, this level, we're on S&P here, guys. Let's remember that. Like, if I say 2978, it's really just a range of price. So let's say 2970 to 2980. If we can break below that, that exposes a lot of downside, because this is just a look above and fail at that point. If we can really break below that, that exposes a lot of downside potentially. I caution to look below and fail too. But as we're trading up into here now, and we're really at the high end of the range, breaking through this, that we've seen a lot more stuff happen here than here. This was a clear look above and fail during futures and during the day, but this, we are starting to really break through, and markets look to the future, and we'll see. Not I personally, I haven't been too connected to the news, besides the protesting stuff. There's not much other news right now besides that. It's a new story every month, a new big story. There's obviously some stuff coming out with Trump soon, or like those hackers. I mean, they like the anonymous group was exposing stuff on him. We'll see how that pans out. Um, yeah, and we got a similar story over here with the Nasdaq. And I don't have all the same lines running for the Nasdaq, but if you want to put this line down here, you can do so, right here. This kind of top area, over here, these peaks. Nasdaq has been really range bound. There has not been a break up or down. It's pretty crazy. But over here we obviously had that look up and fail, which is the same exact thing. I'm pretty sure that coincides actually. Oh no, it doesn't. That's last week. But let's see if we can make another run at it. Obviously, futures drop. I think a lot of this has to do with the protesting stuff, and the U.S. is very shaken up right now. The protesting stuff is bad. Like this, it's an issue. So, and what I mean by that is it's something that could affect markets. But you got to be careful because once right now people are protesting, obviously Black Lives Matter, all that good stuff, but it could change to more economic stuff as the condition of the economy deteriorates further because as we know, markets and economies are not the same thing. They're similar, but they move kind of independently of each other in certain aspects. Obviously, when the economy was deteriorating before, at the beginning of the COVID crash, the market also deteriorated with it. That was a shock. That was all the bad news. But as we've recovered, the market has recovered at least, the economy has further deteriorated, further uh, emphasizing the fact that markets and economies do not necessarily move together. Don't get me wrong. I think the market will the drop will catch up with the market, but right now, I think that I don't think we're there yet. But keep in mind we are at the high end of this range, and when we get to the high end of this range, shit likes to hit the floor and fall back down. But we're seeing a lot of trials to break through this high end. So let's see what next week brings. If there is even an ounce of good news relating to China, coronavirus, stuff like that, this could be a very strong break. We could see. Now, in addition to that, we have to remember there's people protesting in major cities across the country big time now. Will that cause a resurgence in COVID cases, and how will the market take that? How will the news take that? How will the doctors take that? If we start getting more fear and more stuff about lockdowns are, again, we said it last week, lockdowns are the number one fear with people with the market right now. China is secondary. It's on the back burner. The lockdowns and coronavirus are number one. That has the most direct impact on the U.S. economy for us. Watch that very closely. So now we're done here. We will move on to more just a small weekly review on semiconductors stuff that I follow. So this week we actually had a pretty big doji candle on SMH, the mid and large cap semiconductor ETF. If we'll go down to the daily and it'll show you what exactly. We'll go to the 8 hour. 8 hour is good. It shows three different sessions. You get the New York session, the Asia session, and the Europe session. All three. Some of them overlap. I get that, but 24 hours a day, three sessions. Boom, boom, boom. Broken down into 8 hours. That's why I think this candles this time frame is a pretty cool time frame. So, we open the week. We'll go back to the daily because it's easier to see how we open the week up. Oh no, the same thing on this because this is not the S&P 500. I'm silly. So what was this week? What day did this week start? Like the 25th. So we'll go to the 25th. Yeah. So we got that gap. Oh, we don't get the 20. Maybe it wasn't the 25th. Oh, I'm stupid. Markets weren't open on Monday. So Tuesday we opened up. Remember that little gap up, and we pushed down, and then when was this? 27th? Oh yeah, Wednesday. Dropping down to the 2 hour, where we had that big sell-off on Wednesday. Yeah, we had that big sell-off, which brought us down. But then we kept pushing up, which is kind of shown in this weekly candle, this doji. It kind of shows some indecision with the market, but it also shows how we were brought down, and the markets rallied from there. There was buyers ready to buy us back up, and also it's just us shaking off more bad news. This candle shows a lot, although this is a doji, and it does represent some indecision with the market. Not a lot of price movement here, and in regards to open and close for the week, but we do see us rallying even in the face of bad news. I understand we've kind of slipped it open a little bit. I'll go back and re-point that out at the end when we do a little bit of summary, but although this represents indecision, it also represents hope and how the markets look towards the future. All right. Now XSD, I don't chart this very often. I mean, I have stuff. This is old charting stuff back when I was a more cluttered charter. But again, XSD, which is the more small cap semi ETF, which you can see has actually done just as well, pretty much, as the retrace on the retrace as SMH. But we see a similar candle formation here from XSD. Not a surprise there. EVBG, big tech company here, software company. This this was crazy. This was another crazy another crazy guy to watch this week. Like this hammer candle is ridiculous. EVBD traded low this week. It went down. We dropped this company dropped big time right here. I think we started like right here. No, this one. We traded down big time on Wednesday. Again, when we dropped, and buyers were ready to buy us back up at these highs before we broke through. Well, we broke through up here tactically, but like this is kind of where we broke through this area. It's just another interesting thing to watch. AMD is, I like AMD. But let's go to the weekly candle again. Another cluttered chart. I'm sorry, I might have to remake some of these. And we see a similar theme among a lot of these semi companies, where we have these very long lower wicks, us shaking off bad news. There's buyers ready to meet us down here. Bullish market sentiment. Again, I'm playing both sides of the equation. Another big retrace on AMD. But this long lower wick, you could take it as people testing the selling power and the potential selling and buying power, us going down. That's possible. Market movers could be testing the buying strength and the selling strength, us going down. But considering where the markets are at right now and the overall sentiment, I'm more leaning towards there's buyers ready to meet us down here and push that price back up. Obviously, a red week on AMD. But something we were looking for that I pointed out last week, we were looking for these pivots to form. Let's get right here. SPY. We were looking for potential pivots to form. Oh, on the daily. That's what we were looking for. A daily pivot on SPY. That's what we were looking for. Boom, boom. And we were printing red. And then we rallied up. No pivot on the SPY daily. So that's something we brought up in another video. Let's see, MU, obviously MU's lagging the sector a bit. Let's see how its weekly performance was. Also, kind of in line, kind of big lower wick. Upper wick, still pretty big upper wick, but that's because they raised guidance, and we'll see that on the 2-hour time frame here. These big push-ups here on Thursday, I believe it was, Wednesday too. Yeah, they raised, we were selling off big into Wednesday, remember that? Yeah, that was crazy. We made some crazy plays there. They raised guidance down here, and that shot them all the way up here, and then we closed down here, which is where that long upper wick also comes from. You won't see that across the board on semis, I'm pretty sure. TSM, the largest holder in SMH. A red week. We're kind of consolidating here. If you want to kind of do like this kind of, what's this? If you want to say we're kind of consolidating for a break, up or down, you could argue that TSM has been lagging stocks like AMD. Obviously, this is the largest holder in SMH. But yeah, you could say we have been kind of compressing here a little bit. We're making those lower highs and them higher lows. So this could be prime for a breakout. I would watch for that. Nvidia is a crazy stock. And that lower wick says a lot too. Nvidia came down here, and buyers, when Nvidia dropped on Wednesday, it dropped like 7%. Wild ride on the options train. But when it dropped, people were ready to buy that shit right back up. Look at this craziness. This was Wednesday open. Crazy. We went all the way down to here, traded all the way down to this fib line almost. Before, actually, let's throw in like a VWAP down here. Let's see if it came into a VWAP that we could have hit on the shots. No, we'll throw in another couple. Nope. Now we'll hit one up top. Nope. And we'll throw one more in. Oh, look at that. This VWAP hit. Yeah, over there. This VWAP kind of touched. So yeah, maybe if you had that VWAP put in, which maybe we would have had on the daily time frame. If we saw that. If I was charting right here, I'd potentially look for view ups here, here, not here, maybe there. Yeah, interesting to look at how it kind of came into that view up close. Not saying we would have played that like that, but interesting nonetheless. So yeah, going back to the weekly time frame, Nvidia big lower wick again, top of a trend, hammer candle, not the most bullish thing possible, but I think in this case scenario, we are shaking off that bad news that came in the week, and buyers pushed us back up. So I would not be so quick to call this a bearish candle. Intel, and then again, Intel similar. So again, semis. I'm probably gonna go through some of these tech companies and wrap it up on semis because semis are printing very similar across the board this entire week. We came up as this fid line, got rejected, and let's break it down to the daily time frame. Got rejected a little bit. What date was this? Tuesday. We got rejected in this fib line, and then obviously we traded down lower, down to here in the early hours of Wednesday before buyers really pushed us back up. Again, this fib line is still holding as some nice overhead resistance, and if we can get above that, are we running to all-time highs? Dare I say that? I don't think so. I think this would be a level before that. We have some pretty strong price memory here, even though the volume doesn't. Well, Intel doesn't spend much time there, but it's still pretty strong. Support lines could be drawn in there. Wait, is it? Nah, it's already tried. It's already filled this gap. But yeah. All right. LXX is another one I kind of trade a lot. We kind of got above this area, this void zone, which I don't. Oh, I've never explained this to anyone in here. But if you look at the daily time frame, it's the gap fill right here, and these daily candles typically either drop straight through it or they pop straight through it, and that could also be attributed to the fact that there's low price memory here. If you compare all the look at this area of, it's not, of course, okay, compare this area of price memory right here. Oh, it's not gonna, okay. Look how much price memory is here compared to here, and look at the candle count. They're very similar candle counts, and there's less price memory here. So we're traded above this area. I'm pretty sure we actually did get into this fib line, yeah, this double fib line where we did get. I don't know if we got a daily close down there. Yeah, we didn't. This was Wednesday again. We sold off big time before rallying, big time. On Thursday, got rejected up here at this fib line. So if we could possibly break these fib lines here, this kind of high area, this could be a really good runner to maybe 300. So yeah, I look for that. Netflix has been extremely bearish all week, to be honest, and even maybe into last week, where it's been selling off way harder than all the other ones. A lot of other big blue chip stocks, if you want to say that. And here we have the long lower wick, the hammer candle, at kind of the bottom of the trend right here. This is, again, buyers brought us back up. Netflix is lagging the market right now. It could be trying to play catch up. And we kind of got the close above this fib line area where we could potentially try to run with this a little bit. So watch for this kind of V recovery on Netflix, potentially back up to the 450 area this week, maybe. How much we got to print? How much price? 30 points. Nice little trade if that pans out. I want to talk about airlines and finance, like we talked about last week, and we said watch airlines, watch finance. They are going to try to play catch up, and they did to an extent. The weekly candles aren't the greatest for price action, like from open to close, but we do see that airlines did actually trade up quite a bit, like kind of on this week here. Ooh, they did get pushed up quite a bit before meeting some resistance and then pushing them back down. And airlines, like you could tell, they're still a lagging sector because this is not what the market looked like. The market was able to shake off a lot of the. Well, actually, no. I'm not going to say that because airlines did get a big jump earlier in the week when the rest of the market didn't. So maybe that's why the candle formed like this. But it's still lagging this sector quite a bit, lagging the markets. And let's just go to XLF too. where XLF posted good gains for the week, way better than any of these weeks previously, but then obviously we came down on Friday, on Thursday, Friday, on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We had some pretty big sells. The volatility right now is it's off the shots. It's pretty crazy stuff going on. So that's all I want to talk about here. Let's just go touch on the S&P one more second. Let's see where futures are heading right now. So they begin to retrace a little bit upwards. Again, buyers have met us right about here. So reviewing this again, if we can break below this area this week, we'll actually bring it to the 1 hour. Get a little better view. Oh, my mouth is dry. I am parched. If we can break below this blue line right here of key support for the rest of this rally, I see I'm very opportunistic on the bull case scenario. Obviously, the economy, that's a given. I keep an eye out for the protesters, resurgent coronavirus cases, and tensions with China, all of which are going to play a key role. Sorry for my yawn. A key role in the future of the stock market, the near future of the stock market. Let's just talk about potential upside quickly, because I know everyone who may or may not be watching this video, all my non-existent fans, are going to want to watch a potential upside. So this supply zone, we touched it and dipped off, which was kind of expected. So we got up here, we dumped right here. Let's see if we can make another run at the supply zone. If we can break up to it, then this area, and then obviously the high end of this, so like the low 3100 level. I don't think I have all of the zones on here actually, so let's actually go right here. See if we get more supply and demand zones. Some more treats. To the 2 hour. So this is big time supply zone right here, tied in with a fib line that I don't have the other one. So this, watch for the entry at around the low 3100 level, 3090 to 3100. This kind of area, watch for potential selling action in this area. If we can somehow manage to break through this, I do not think it'll be too far-fetched to go to the 3200 area before we even see a reversal. Because this, if we can run through this, this is going to be quite crazy. I don't have all the zones on here because we'll cross that bridge when we cross that bridge. But yeah, remember, trade safely. All I gotta say right now is, last week, I'll tell you a little story. Last week we made a good amount of profit trading some of these downturns, but then we blew a lot of it trying to do it again on a less obvious setup. So I just want to offer some of my mistakes as lessons, and that we right now in this volatile time we should be holding way tighter stop losses, because the stop loss has saved me a lot. Way tighter stop losses, and take profit maybe a little bit quicker. You want to conserve capital. It's an extremely volatile environment. The breakout or breakdown will eventually happen, and you want to be able to play it when it does, and you want your capital. Be safe with that. You have to protect your capital, protecting your mental health and your trading health, your overall trading health in general, money-wise, mentally, confidence-wise, everything. Protecting that is very important, especially your money when it comes to trading. So, conserve the capital, wait for a good entry. They will come. It's an extremely volatile time. We talked about it last week. These 10-minute candles on the S&P 500 have daily price action from before the drop. Extreme volatility. It's difficult to trade. A lot of very good traders right now are having a lot of difficulty with this. Just be careful. This is a volatile time. So on that note, I say peace and have a good rest of your weekend. Stay safe, and look forward to trading this week.